Hello, everyone, and a very happy Thursday to you. Today, we've got about 4 or 5 submissions to go through. Additionally, on top of the submissions that we already have, we have a submission by Sylvain, which is his breakdown from his Atom project here. And if you haven't gotten a chance yet, we did a whole full critique of all the Atom submissions. There were like 30 of them the other day. So make sure you check those out. But yeah, we'll kind of go through this first and take you through the still images as well. The big announcement for today, couple announcements. Make sure you check out the lighting challenge. It's the Octopus, Poker Puss, by Sarah Tarr was the asset creator, and then it was designed by it's another fantastic design by Chris Ayers at Disney. So definitely check that out. I am excited to get into working with him probably starting this weekend. I'm very excited because I'm getting a new machine, hopefully tomorrow, and I'll be able to show you guys all that. So you will no longer see me leaning awkwardly into my laptop here. And with that, I'll be able to, because it's nice because I've actually been able to set up a relationship with a vendor, and I want to make sure that the computer works and functions, and they're a good company to work with because we have a little 5% discount for all of our students that work with them as well. And so far they've been great, like really helpful, getting me a great graphics card for a great price. And I'll just be setting up some GPU rendering, and it'll just allow me to teach you guys some more stuff. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. One other thing. Monday for those outside of the U.S. or those in the U.S. that forget what day of the week it is. Monday is a holiday. It's Labor Day here in the States. So there won't be any critiques. Jasmine and I will be taking a holiday to spend more time with our families, which we've been spending every day with, just less Zoom meetings that day. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit here. Let me just rotate over. Mute the volume here. So, I want to start here at the beginning. Again, I like to do these like totally fresh, as if I've never seen them before, just so you all can get a sense of the reaction when I'm seeing something like this. So it's just like very clear cut, title, really great stuff. Love the setup. The one thing you want to watch out for is just thin font like this on a smaller screen. Could be tough to read, but should totally be fine. But yeah, just very simple, straightforward title. I love seeing the final image first. Then there's the build up of the background. Then building up the character. Nice and easy. Very digestible. Good pacing. Good setup. I feel like some of those... Okay, I feel like in here it gets a little tedious. I feel like we can cut out a handful of those, or combine, I should say, a handful of these right in here. So it's like... So these are big jumps, right? So like big jump with the additional light, the rim light, the fill light. We got eye reflections now. And it's level adjustments, color correction. Like it's basically all 3 of these color corrections I think you could have adjusted all together. And then adding, like that one's pretty small. And unless you're looking for it, you're going to miss it. So maybe combine that with another one. And like this change between these level adjustments, I would just leave that out. Because then you just pop to the depth of field and then do the overall color correction. Because some of this is like, very fine tweaking before you do a very large color shift here at the end. So you don't want to, you may want to not highlight that because then it just looks like that work was a little bit wasted. So I would just avoid that. So it's just a matter of combining a couple of these so that each step iteration is a substantial, significant gain towards the end. Okay, let's go ahead and hop over into here. Okay, so we're on Matt. We're on yours first, so we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So good progress. I don't have the old one here, but yes, definitely making some good progress along the way. The biggest thing that I'm looking at with this, and it's like you're doing a good job of matching the reference, but it's actually kind of funny because in this shot in the film, it's very staged lighting. Like like that's a lot of cool light to have on him inside in this space with just that window coming through, and it's totally fine. We can mimic that, but there are a few things about it where I actually think that this warmer light will be playing a larger role than it currently is. Like, you know, things like it's hitting warm light around him here. Oh, jeez. Hitting warm light around him here. And there is a little bit of warmth in the light here. But the reason why we're seeing like pretty much all coolness on that is because his arm is kind of blocking the warmth from getting in there. Where here, we're not having that same blockage. So I'm wondering if we can't get a little bit of warm rim light kind of coming down the side here. I just think that it really helps tie in the foreground and the background together a little bit. And I think that would help out a lot. And then in terms of the character lighting itself, let's take a look at that. Go ahead and just make a copy of him. Oh. It's a very strange copy. We're going to do that again. Go ahead and take these. Oh, let's take all these out. Sorry, I was messing around with this before. And so those probably might be causing that. Okay, let's go ahead and grab him. Copy, paste, there we go. So the biggest thing that I'm noticing about him is like, it's nice having this cool light on there, but it is pushing him away from his hero color a little bit. And again, this is the difference between lighting light-skinned characters versus dark-skinned characters. Our dark-skinned characters, you can really, really push the saturation on the specular highlights and on the lights as a whole. But because what you're lighting for are these like reflections in the skin tone and stuff. But what we're missing here is instead of it being just getting like the specular highlights, it's actually changing the base color of the skin, and that's not exactly what we want to do. So what I would like to do, and we'll just try this out here real quick, is well, first off, I want to go ahead and brighten up his key side just a little bit. We'll go ahead and just add contrast overall. Pull that down just a touch. And then these blues are nice, but I want to see if we can't maintain that hero color just a touch more. So let's go ahead and pull out a little bit of the blue, a little bit of red. Maybe just kind of get a little magenta out of there too. So now you can see there's a slight shift in it. And I think for his skin tone, on the key side of his face, I think that might actually work out a little bit better. So something more like that. That might be a little bit extreme. Let's take that down just a little bit. Something more like that. To really get his face to pop, we're reading more of his hero colors. I also think that you can pull back although this is kind of the brightness that we want, the ratio between specular and diffuse isn't exactly what I would go for. I would pull back a little bit more on the diffuse and push the specularity a little bit stronger, just because, like, check out some of the shaping you're getting on the lips, across the nose. It's just really, really beautiful stuff, and I would like to continue that further. Additionally, some other things that you might want to hit is, you know, you've got the rim light here on the side. It would be nice to, let's see, got the rim light here. It would be nice to isolate just up to his rim and allow the lower part of his chest to get a little bit darker, to create like more shaping that way. And then, let me see, the other thing that I would do is his shirt just feels a little bit, just a little bit dingy, like a little gray. And there's basically a couple ways that you can take that. I would either go darker with it and make it like a black t-shirt, or like something like a darker gray, or I would push it brighter. Yeah, quite that bright. More like a whiter, cleaner shirt, just to kind of create that separation. Because again, his shirt here is actually getting darker than this one over here, and it doesn't look like it's meant to be a gray shirt. It looks like it's supposed to be white that's just underlit, but I could be wrong on that. But that's just how it's playing up. The shaping is good on his face here, but I would. It's almost like you know what something else you could do. Give this a try. So in our character lighting class, I think it's in character lighting, we talk about a key and a key wrap light. This could be a really good opportunity for that, where you keep this light where it is, and then just take down the value, maybe take it back down to where we were in here. And then what you would do is add a second key light that's more like rim that would simulate this, and it would actually kind of hit his edges a little bit harder, and then just like the side of his face. And that might actually create more roll off, and that might actually be really, really nice too. So something to play around with there, but I think that would get us, I think that'll get us going pretty well to the next iteration. So I think that's good there. All right, let's move on to Shibli. So Shibli, we've got the original one here. We've got your reference, and then what we have updated. So I think I like that you toned down some of this foreground stuff. I like that. I like that we're starting to get more of a focus in the central part of the image, but I really, really, really think we could push that farther. In fact, let's go ahead and just take that. Let's go ahead and take this center region, and I'm just looking at that. I'll go ahead and delete it here, and push that much, much brighter. Because if you look, again at the reference, you know, these areas are kind of blowing out in there. So I think we can match that level in terms of like the intensity here. And then we don't want to make everything brighter. We just want to isolate it into that region. So we're just going to go ahead and go down here and then just kind of hit up the background a little bit. So this is a very, very rough mock-up. So something more along those lines. Yeah. So now we've got like a stronger light coming in here, and then what we can do is we can then take this. Actually, that's even a little bit better. And then from here we would take that and blur it. And this is to create some like diffusion, some like happy glowy bits. We want to take down that saturation of the purples, but like this type of value is kind of what we're looking for. And then additionally, we can add in, and again, forgive this. This is going to be a very, very rough like volumetric light in here. So now we have that color, okay. And again, this is not how you would do this for real. This is just how I am kind of mocking it up a little bit. So like that type of volumetric light coming out of there, and just kind of highlighting the ground here. And then what I would really want you to do is add in. So we've got like darker values here in the background, but add in maybe some area lights or spotlights that push just specular light into this background that just kind of like hit these. Weird. you want to have some specular highlight that kind of hits what's going on back here in the background and just adds a little bit more shaping into the shadows. Because you don't want it's dark back there and also getting very flat. So you just want to create some shaping. And again, you do that with specular light because you don't want to push the diffuse values too much because then they just start looking brighter and that's not where we want to be. But to show, let's see. And just like a little before and after here. So hopefully that helps. But that's where I tend to go going forward here. So more variation in the background, brighter on this key light. And again, do this stuff in the render and then you can push it further in the comp. And then add some diffusion to this light and add a volumetric ray coming out here. And then you'll want to, at some point, it'd be cool to get some reflections in these windows back here. And you can do that as a separate reflection pass, but I think that would be a good one. All right, last up we have Kilds. So we have a kind of a like work in progress that we're working towards here with this scene. The car is looking pretty good. The tires are looking a little matte and lifted. It might just be this kind of overall lighting in here, but we'll keep our eye on that. For the headlights, make sure that you're facing them down a little bit, just because it's just the way the headlights work, and you want to make sure that they're creating like a nice pull value on the street here from both lights. And then there's like a fade off, and make sure you get make sure you do like a map or some sort of like a caustic map in there and look at some reference on this for headlight caustics because they create like a very distinct shape on the ground, and if you get that right, it'll be really, really cool. Shader on the paint looks like it could work, but again, right now because we're just totally surrounded by white, there's not a lot of opportunity to create a lot of shaping in there, so you'll just want to dial that in. And the best way to light a reflective object is through reflections. So make sure you have like these type of like reflection cards where you're putting like planes in the scene, but turning off their primary visibility, but making sure that they're positioned in a way that kind of shows off like this curve in the object and like shows off the metallic of this pipe coming down and maybe some of these rivets down there. But just make sure that those are positioned in a way that really kind of emphasize that stuff. Because honestly, again, like reflections are the best way to light a car more than the actual light value of something. So same thing here. Yeah, it's looking good, but it's just flat down here, and that has to do with the environment that it's in. So again, not only making sure that you're reflecting cards, but you're reflecting the nighttime city. So you'll see like the colored lights and all of that stuff in there as well. This is good shaping coming across her here. This is pretty low res, so it's hard to tell. But I like the shaping coming across. Let's make sure that we're emphasizing the specular light on her. Her garment here could probably get more fill light just because it's of the nature of the material on it. But again, it's hard to tell over white. There could be some value there, but because it's got this white surrounding, it looks much, much darker. And again, low res, so I'm not going to get too analytical on that. And then just watch out for the high specular sheen on the steering wheel there. They're usually made of leather, so just keep that a little bit darker. But in terms of the shaping and it's like really highlighting her features and really doing some cool stuff there, so I like that. And then in terms of the city itself, we'll just see how this plays out. But again, be careful of vignetting on the sides, just because like I'm seeing these lights get much darker than the other street lights. Just something to be aware of there. Sign appears to be backwards. A Star is Born is nice. But this is good. Just make sure that we're connecting, because like the cool part about cities like this is when these lights shine their value like onto the street, and we can see like this magenta light really affecting a lot of area around it, and like this light kind of affecting this. And we see some of the red reflections in the car, and that's cool. I just want to see more of that. I want to see more connection points between the environment and the environment lights and the set pieces. So yeah, it's a good work in progress. I liked what you're building towards. I just want to see where it goes next. So all right, so that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, again, throw them in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to take a look at them. But keep going, keep lighting, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, happy lighting, everybody.